Hello world, welcome to the stream. It's been a little while since the last stream, so I apologize for that. Did some traveling over the holidays, but we are back at it. So let's see, left off last. We had kind of retooled the working on target mapping, and we had tooled our movement. So let's just make sure that it's still building. What we had done previously is make our monsters move intelligently. So they will now track towards us. We find them. There's one. So he will follow me because I've now been designated a target. Oh, I'm gonna need a comp between these guys. No, not quite. We also made the movement somewhat more randomized in that if there are 2 moves or 3 moves that are optimal for them to take based on the movement algorithm, they will choose randomly between one of those so that their behavior is less predictable. And there's all 3. So right now we don't have any combat, so they're just going to chase me around, and that's not very exciting. But that gives you a sense of where we're at. So let's jump into the code. What I'd like to work on today, there's 2 things that I'd like to work on. The first is I would like to add a data structure to the game state that will allow me to, given XY coordinates, return all of the game objects that occupy those coordinates on our map. So basically it'll be a two-dimensional array of lists, I think, at this point would make the most sense. So that we could have a game object get call that will take XY coordinates and be able to jump right to that particular set of items that are at that coordinate and return them, rather than having to loop through every single game object and then checking its position to see if it matches the position that we're looking for. It's just that's suboptimal. So I'd like to optimize that a little bit. So I think what we're going to do is we'll have a, like I said, I think we're going to want to return a list pointer. And this will be, we're going to call this what do we want to name this? It's going to be our game position. Naming is like the hardest part about this thing. Call it game object. It's kind of a map, but let's call it map width. And then pipe. So that'll hold a collection, a list pointer, space partitioning. Oh, that's it. It's could be. It's not really space partitioning, but hey, Ginkgo Bitter, how's it going this evening? Glad you could join the stream. Yeah, let's just call it that for now, and then I'm sure something will pop into my head and we'll rename it. So what we want to do, let's write the code that's going to utilize it first, so that we get a sense of how we'd like it to be used. Oh, so like here, this right here, game object apposition. This is what we're doing right now. We're looping through all of our position components and trying to find a match and then tracing it back to the game object. Yeah, you're a big fan of C? I am, I haven't given this caveat in a little while. I am long-time programmer. I have used C, but I have not, I'm still quite rusty at C, and I'm trying to learn some of the newer additions to the language as well, to do some modern C. So if you see anything that could be improved, let me know. I'm sure there's a lot of that out there. So this is what we're doing right now. Game object at position. We're looping through all of our position components and then matching X and Y and returning that object if it matches. So there's a couple problems with this. One, it's only going to return the first object that it finds that matches the component, the position. And The second being that it's suboptimal in its routine. So let's try it. It's a slightly different interface, so we'll call it game objects at position. And again, it'll take an X and a Y. But the logic becomes super easy because all we're going to do is return our game object positions is not, yeah, X, Y. So our lookup goes from this potentially long loop and a loop that gets less performant the more game objects that we have, to a single go to this position, grab this information, and return it. So it's constant. So that's relatively simple. Let's see, where are we using this? Using this anywhere yet? I guess one way to find out is to delete it and compile. Yeah, we're using it in the oh, okay, it's in the field of view, so. Oh. Sorry, I'll show you the terminal. So it's saying that we're missing it in our FOV.c, and it says that it's in line 106. Here it is. Is that the only place we're using it? Okay. I'll come back and fix this up in a bit. So what we need to do is manage this data structure. And I think the best place to do that is going to be in our, when we're updating our position component, I think it would make sense to also update the data structure for those positions. So we're given the X position data here. And game object positions. So what we're going to want to do here So what is it? Pause data? Comp data? Yeah, so it's data. And pause data. Okay. So we're going to go and grab the list pointer at the X and Y position that we're updating the component for. And then if that is null, we need to, because it could be null, initially all of these pointers are going to be null, aren't they? I'll have to verify that. But they're not just garbage. Okay, so if that list pointer is null, then we need to allocate a new list. So let's look at our list API. Do a list init. And that will take a pointer to our, oh, you know what, that returns. Will return a pointer to a newly allocated list. So do grab this. And we're not doing anything funky, so it'll just use free as its deallocation. Right, and so if it's null, we're going to create a list and shove it into that position in the two-dimensional array, and then when we hit this point, we will now have a non-null list, so we can just insert into it. And what we want to insert into it is a pointer to the game object that is at that position. So what we'll do is we'll do list insert after, and that will take our list that we're inserting into, the element that we're inserting after. So if we just want to shove it onto the head of the list, we can send a null, and then the data that we're inserting. So it'll be like this, and our game object is just J, so we'll I wonder. So the problem with this is that we need to remove, if we were already in this data structure, we need to remove the previous position that we were at. We will need to grab the previous position, so if position equals null. It's going to be in this right here, because the first thing that we're doing here is we are grabbing the Ginkgo Bitter. Thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So if it's position, it's been a little while since I looked at this code. I apologize for the rustiness. So we're grabbing the previous position information from our game object. If it doesn't exist, we'll allocate it. But in the case where it does exist, that's where we're going to want to grab those previous XY coordinates and then remove the game object from our game object positions data structure before we, put it at its new position. So I just want to make sure that our list, when we remove, we're not destroying it. It returns a pointer to the data, so it does not. Good. It frees the element, but it doesn't free the data. Good. That's exactly what we want. So I think what I did is it actually added a new list search. Okay. Let's see, what is our position data? What is that? Is that a U8, huh?
Because of you. I'm burning in my skin. Can't get them out of my head. Words, these words said to me. Yeah.
All right, so trying to think of a sentinel value. We can set those too. Maybe. Let's do this. Let's just remove it here. So if our position is not null when we come in here, then we're going to remove the and the way that we're going to do that is we're going to say game object. Well, first we're going to do, it's going to be a 2. We need to search Oh, it returns the element. That's not what we want, though. We may need to... what I'd like to do is say remove the element containing this particular data from the list. And I don't know that I have that function yet. Element to remove. So this list remove. Maybe this is it. Moves the given element, but that's the pointer to the element. That's not. So I've got a list item at, which is going to return this looks like a problem right here. This should be returning a list element. And then, hello R. Henry, how's it going? So I should probably just write a what I want is list remove, but instead of a particular element, it's list remove. But I want the thing I'm matching on is the data pointer. So basically, I want this with a different matching test. Do I have? Okay, so I'm going to write a specialized one here. I'm just going to copy pasta, and I'm going to call this list remove element with data. And this is going to be a void. Pointer, because it's going to be the data pointer. So this will be if list size is 0, or they happen to send us a data null pointer in for our data. We're just going to bail. Limit remove data. This is going to be, this no longer makes sense. So they're going to say we want to start at the head. Basically, we want to loop through this whole thing, so we'll just do this. If element to remove is our list head, and then we'll say while element to remove and our advancement is going to be element. So we'll do our test in there in a second. So at the end, when we fall out of our loop, it's if element to remove is not equal to null, then we're going to do some work. Which means that we found an element that I think that what we're going to be removing is this bit, right? Yeah. This is the work right here to remove. Do this as well. So really, I didn't end up using anything. Like what? This is just going to return. All right, so we're setting our, so we can just do here. So if our list is 0 elements, or we get past a null pointer to match against, we're just going to bail. Just going to return. Otherwise, we're going to set our element to remove to the head, and then we're going to loop until it's null, which means that it's hit the end of the list. And then we'll have a we'll exit the loop if we have our matching condition satisfied. So let's go ahead and write that now. And the matching condition is if element to remove data is equal to our data pointer. Then we're going to break out of the loop. Otherwise, we're gonna keep moving through the list. So if we get here and our element to remove is non-null, then we have to go ahead and move the element from the list. Hey, Basic, how's it going tonight? Yeah, I stopped and restarted the stream. I was trying to get the video going, and everything's up and running now, so we're good to go. So if to remove the element from the list, we're going to grab pointers to the to grab these. So it's the pointers to previous and next items on the list, the stuff on either side of the element we're removing. And so if both of these are non-null, then we're repointing things around. It is a game written in C. Yes, it's a classic roguelike, classic ASCII roguelike. And I will probably, once I get this stuff wired up, I will demo the game, show everyone where we are currently at. So we're going to repoint this. Otherwise, we're at the start of the list, and we'll just read some pointers. We're going to free the element after we've kind of patched everything up. So that should work. So now that we've have that written, we can go ahead and do this with our and it would be our pointer to our game object. So what I'm going to need here is to grab let's just do get easy. Why am I doing it? Yes, doing it for fun. I'm doing it to become reacquainted with C, to get closer to the metal, and yeah, basically just as a learning exercise and also as a teaching exercise, because I figure folks follow along, they'll be, they might get interested in building their own games in C. Or at least learning about lower level programming. Alright, so what we're doing here, we're going to grab the list that's at this time we're going to be using the pauses X and Y, which is the original position. I am, yeah. It's not my first time here. I streamed a long time ago on live coding and kind of went away for a while, and now I'm trying it again. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to remove this from the previous position, and then down here I'm inserting it. And I really don't like this, this name that I've got for it. Maybe I'll just call it Go Positions. That seems reasonable. Right. I'm just gonna call this goes. And then insert that. Oh, let's see what kind of. Sorry, I've been blocking you guys, huh? This console. Let's see where we're at. Get it out of the way. Alright, let's build. Got a couple issues that we knew about. List 207. Oh, yep. And then we have game 240. What do I call it? Go positions. There should be one more broken one. Yeah, okay, so now we're at the code that we need to clean up because we've modified that data structure. So let me put this, hide that, and we'll jump to our field of view code 6. So if you remember a few minutes ago, we moved this game object at position function in favor of this one, where are we? Game objects at position. And it returns a list now instead of a single game object. So we'll call, whoa, list, call it goes again. Game. It'll still be XY. And now instead of just testing if the single object that we were returned blocks site, we need to first test if we got a list back that's not null. So we'll do it's not equal to null. Then we're going to want to loop through all of the objects in our list. You can do that. Let's see where I'm. Just want to be consistent how I'm looping through my. So it looks like I'm doing this. So we'll grab the head of our game objects list, and this is where we do our testing stuff, and just do E. It's next E. So the test that we're going to want to do is to see if the object in the that we're testing blocks site. So we know that it's not going to be null, so we'll just do this bit. So instead of game, well, we could do it that way. We could say game object go close game object enter, and in this case it's going to be E data. List data as well, so we'll just do that. List data. So we are grabbing our list of game objects at the position. If it's null, we fall out of the loop and we return false. There's no cell. There's nothing blocking the site in this cell. Otherwise, we're going to loop through that list, and for each game object in the list, we're going to grab the physical component of that game object and test to see if it blocks site. And if so, if we find something that blocks site, we're immediately going to return true. Because we only need one thing in that cell to block site to... we don't need any further confirmation that site is blocked. So I'll just build real quick in the background here, and it's saying 6. Oh, it still differs. Oh, I didn't save this. Oops. It's getting the same error and it threw me for a loop there. Okay, so it builds. Let's see if things all hell breaks loose, and it has. So I gotta crash. We're gonna debug it. So let me make sure that you can see that. So it comes up. Alright, so let's throw this. Okay, let's see that now. And list was null pointer. Where are we? Okay, let's break. Where are we? Where's my call stack? Come on, Visual Studio, where are you hiding my call stack? There's... Alright, where are we? Every time I launch this thing, it rearranges my windows. It's gotta look at all these. Okay, there it is. Call stack. That wasn't too hard to find. Yikes. Okay, so it doesn't like this. It was complaining that the list was null, and yet I'm testing. Did ListInit fail? Oh, you know what? Run. So, okay. I am... Alright, what I need to do here. So, let's kill this. Yes. Cool. Alright. So, 147. So what I'm doing here is I really need to first assign the list to the variable that I'm using, and then I can certainly put that value in my data structure, but if I'm inserting into my goes list, I better init it. So that should take care of that problem. Let's see, run again, see what happens. Okay, so it's running. And that uses the field of view to see if things were blocking sites. So it certainly seems like our field of view code is still working properly. You can see you get some good, you get some site blocking here, so it looks like everything is working. Using our newly optimized lookup data structure, which took a lot longer than I was planning to spend on that. But that's often the way it goes. All right. So the other, that was the small item that I was planning to tackle this evening. The other item that I wanted to work on, right now the monsters are hard-coded. We just, I don't even remember where it is. Let's find, here, right here. Generate some monsters, drop them randomly in the level. So right now I'm just hard-coding 3 monsters, a G, an S, and a K, so whatever those might be. But what I'd like to do is start putting things like that into config files. So I'd like to start writing a, in this case, a text file parser that will parse out information on the various monsters in the game, and then we can feed that to our level generator and have it generate a random variety of monsters that are appropriate for that particular level. So, first thing is to figure where we want to, what source file we might want to use for that. I don't know that we have started that we'd want to add to. I think honestly we should start a new like config. I'll just call it like config.c or something that'll save it so that it starts giving us syntax highlighting for C. Go. Did I try Unity? I have not tried Unity. I will. I'm planning to learn some Unity. I already know C# and all of that, but I'm purposely not using a pre-built engine because the point of the exercise in this case is to build my own engine, or and kind of learn some of the algorithms behind certain things, such as like field of view. Like that was cool. I wrote my own shadow casting algorithm, and this was a few weeks ago now, but drew the algorithm out on paper and kind of puzzled over it for a little while, and then it's really satisfying to puzzle something out and then implement it, and then when it works the way you were expecting it to, or hoping that it would work, then it's really satisfying. So Unity is cool. There's a ton of awesome games being built using Unity, but this is more about getting back to the fundamentals, or getting back to worrying about things like memory management and that sort of thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to have a real basic config file. So let's maybe capture what we want to do. In this case, our config files they're going to be text files. And so I was thinking about this earlier. I think we're going to have sections, and so there'll be a section name will be a line that has text within single brackets, and then what else did I want to? I wrote some notes. Oh yeah, so I'm sorry. Section name was going to be double square brackets, and then we were going to have within a section we could have some kind of item or entity. Maybe entity is a better name. And you'll have like one or more of those guys, and then underneath an entity you would have a key, those value pairs. Keep going. So, hey Salad Dongs, how's it going? I agree. Writing things yourself can teach you a lot. Um, and sure, I mean, once you're familiar with the fundamentals, it makes you a better, or what's going on under the hood. It will make you a better programmer if you go ahead and do use something like Unity, because you'll have a better sense of what's going on underneath the covers, so to speak, and or at least it will give you a better appreciation for what Unity is doing for you. So. Alright, so for our config, what are we going to do? We're going to have a couple things. I wrote some notes here. So how are we gonna use this? Oh, no problem, basic. So I have as many years experience as your age. That's way to make me feel old. Thanks. All right, so we'll just have a file open, and this can return a file vector. And it'll take a maybe we'll maybe not. I need to think about whether we want to send in a file name or. Let's think about, I always like to write the code that is going to use the API before I actually write the API. So maybe we should go back and find that monster generation. I think it was in here. Yeah. I don't think I want to be reading the config at this point, though. You almost want like a config init that we're going to use to read into memory the information that we want. So what we really want is in the case of our monsters and our generation, we want some kind of data structure that is going to hold all of our information about the different monsters in the game, when they should appear, what their various stats are going to be. Maybe we just want to break that out. I have to probably think about this a little bit more off stream, about how we want to break up the config data, or how we want to parse it and then place it into in-memory data structures that'll be used at different points in the game. I think we said we want to do a config init. I think definitely one thing that we'd like to do is for determining what monsters appear where, that's going to be based, it's going to be driven by level. So we already have this dungeon level structure that we can certainly enhance with information, more config information. So maybe we would do, we could have like maximum monster count per level, or a range of, you know, a min and max number of monsters for a given level. I think I'm definitely gonna think about this a bit more off stream. Because you're gonna want to read. So okay, so if we've got sections, entities, and then key values underneath there, we're basically going to need functions that'll say, it'd be nice if I could say, grab me this section, and return all the entities in that section, and then within an entity you could then, you know, get all the key value properties. But I think we might want to parse the whole file in one fell swoop and then return some sort of structure that represents its format. No, what I'm up for suggestions. What did you do, Ginkgo Bitter? What type of game are you working on? Thinking that these config files are never going to get that large. So to parse it in one fell swoop and read it into memory is not going to be too painful. Have some kind of in-memory structure just hidden in this file. Local to the file, and then I think we could do something like this. it would be like I don't think I want to store the configuration stuff as... I don't want to store the structure of the config file in memory. I think I just want to process the data in that config and get it into its end form. But maybe I'll use these just temporarily in here. Be a tree, yeah. Create this, and then this would just be a list of
It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too old now, or just afraid that you'll walk away.
star key, and then read your init type file into a tree structure as strings, yep, and then request the variable from a certain section. Every tree leaf stores a type, string, maybe. Yeah, could be. Yeah, everything when we parse it in from the file is going to be character string, because it's a text file. You just have the one level. Yeah, I don't know if I need the one level, or if I need the additional level. Maybe overcomplicating things. But I guess we'll figure that out. Yeah, I mean, the config files aren't really meant to be modified. They're not. They won't be modified by the player. So it's really just game engine config, or data lists even. So in the case of monsters, it's really just a way to define monsters using some sort of text file, as opposed to hard coding it into the data structure directly. Yeah, players will mess with. I mean, that's it. This is kind of an open project anyway, so if the players want to mess with it or add their own monsters, they can go right ahead too. That'll be fun. They can mod it. It makes it easier to tinker with the balance, game balance, and that sort of thing. So maybe I probably should return a pointer to this, because I should probably allocate these structures on the heap instead of passing everything around by value. So, yeah, I mean, maybe if I make it more generic, I think that's probably okay, so that I can just break out my configurations into various, maybe I don't need sections. Oh, I skipped one too. Yeah, I mean, maybe this is enough for here. Maybe instead of the top level section, I just section things out by putting it in a different file. That seems like a reasonable first go. So this will open the file, parse the whole contents of the file into these various structures. Basically, this goes into this, and then this goes into this. That's cool, you're just tinkering around. What, are you doing straight up C as well? Or are you using something like Unity or Unreal? Porting from C++11 to C. I hope that's not super object-oriented C++. That's gonna be... that would be a struggle. Alright, well let's get this into our compilation unit. For now. straight up C without standard libraries. That's you're that's like taking it to the next level. Implementing your own standard libraries, or all right. Let's just make sanity check, make sure it builds. It's complaining config file parse needs to return a value, yeah. Whatever. Oh, so yeah, standard. Well, STL, yeah. It's STL. I was doing C++ programming. STL was just coming into vogue, and now it's kind of already had its day in the sun and is falling out of vogue again. But I wouldn't miss it. So I think we're probably going to have a folder for our various config files. Just consulting some notes. Let's just write some pseudocode, and then tomorrow or the next day we can fill in the details next stream. So we're going to open now, and we're going to through each line. We're going to have a bit of a state machine in here. Although really there's not, since I took a layer out, there's really not too many states. You're either in an entity, or you're about to start a new one. We have entity. Key value data set to its various parts. And add it to the entity. And then we'll return our structure. If folks are interested in getting notifications when I stream next, go ahead and hit that follow button. It get notified the next time I go live. Let's do file. And we'll take the file name. I guess we might not manipulate it a bit, but for now we'll just take the straight up file name, and then it'll be open it for reading. So reading, and then just need to make sure that that our pointer is valid. Wonder if I want to I guess I should set a maximum length. So I can do f, what is it, f gets, feed it into a buffer. The thing that I need to do, am I already including standard IO? Alright, I'm getting a bit tired, so probably do this another 5 minutes or so, and then call it an evening. So let's do this. We're gonna loop. So just looking up thing for fgets. Takes a string buffer. So I want characters to be read. And the file pointer. So let's just call it say 256. configure. Alright, so we're going to want to loop. Is that going to return us like end of file? So if it doesn't return us, if an error occurs, a null pointer is returned. So can I pull the next? Does that read a whole line? Reads a line from a specified string and stores it in the string. And buffer. So I guess we do this.
When you're opening a new office location, you need to make sure your team can start working fast. Which suddenly means buying new conference tables, chairs, and laptops to help power success. American Express Open can give you buying power.
Go away. Thank you, advertising on my man page. Alright, so it's going to take the buffer, it's going to take next line, and then it takes the file pointer. So I'm going to read to the buffer and need to figure out if our buffer contains the entity name, so the square brackets. And I think at this point my brain is kind of mush, so I'm gonna probably call it a day at this point. We can jump back into this next stream. Just make sure everything's building. Got some warnings, but again, I'll deal with those next stream. Can you play one of my games somewhere? No, this is really I've written a few small games, but I haven't put anything out there publicly available. This game will be publicly available, so you can play it when it's complete. That's a good segue. So let's call it a night. If you want to see any of the archives, I archive and upload the previous streams to YouTube, so you can check them out there. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit me up on Twitter at PDCodes, and then the source code for everything that I've written so far will be up on GitHub momentarily. I'll do a commit after I shut the stream down for the stuff we worked on tonight. But if you want to grab the code from the repo and follow along at home, or use it as a base to start your own project, go for it. So thanks everyone for watching. If you're interested in following along in the future, hit that follow button so you get stream notifications the next time I go live. I usually hoping now that we're kind of in between holidays for a little bit, that I'll be able to stream more often. Hopefully a couple of weeknights a week, and perhaps once or twice on the weekends as well. So thanks everyone for watching, and have a good evening. I'll see you next stream.